So this is a picture that relates to biology. When I started college at SDSU, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I had nursing and psychology on the front burner, and I had teaching on the back burner because I really liked working with kids. And I had worked at a daycare for a couple of years, but I never thought it was something that I would pursue as a career. I took Biology 151 as a freshman, and I would study for hours on end each week, and I would spend late nights in the library before every exam. But I never got anything higher than a C on any exam, if I even got that high of a grade, even with all the studying that I did. And I realized that science courses like those, which would be required by the two majors I had chosen, just weren't for me. The material didn't make sense to me, and no matter what I did, how much studying I did, I just couldn't understand it. But after changing my major a few more times, I finally was set on education, and everything started to make sense in my courses. And everything we learned genuinely interested me. So that's one thing that changed my course for me significantly. This is a picture of the Head Start logo. When I was in one of my first EC courses, EC 150, I was assigned to do some observation hours at Head Start. Of course, that day I woke up late and I couldn't find the building, and so I was wandering down the street, and finally I wandered into a building and I begged and pleaded to this lady in an office room. I asked her if she knew where the Head Start building was, and she told me it was attached to the church across the street. So I ran over there, and I figured that my first impression was shot, being late and sweating a little bit, but I had the best time there that day. Head Start is a place where they provide preschool and education to low-income children in the area. And that day I learned all about the paperwork that surrounds Head Start, which is a lot, and the routines, the processes to enroll a child, and more about special education. I also decided that day that I would continue on and get my special education endorsement, and I made such a good impression that day on the lead teacher that I worked with. Her name's Margie, and she offered me a substitute position at the center, and so I decided to do it, and I filled out all the paperwork, and I still work there 2 years later. So I work in the classroom as a sub, and I also work on the bus as a monitor when they need me, and I have made such great connections there, and I've learned so much, and I have been able to meet a lot of amazing kids and learn more about special education and poverty in the Brookings area and how those factors can influence a child. And now I have obtained my special education endorsement, and so I have completed everything to get that. This is a picture of Shelley Bayer and I. She is assistant director of the Center for Enhancement of Teaching and Learning at SDSU, and I met her in the fall semester of my freshman year. And when I think back about what college was for me, she had one of the greatest impacts on my experience. She picked me out of the crowd in that class and nominated me for what is called Lead State at SDSU. And during that experience, I got to work on my leadership skills. She also had me be her year 2 peer mentor on her team as a junior, and I was a role model for sophomore students, and I got to learn a lot more about leadership through that. And ever since we have met, Shelly's been a really good resource for me and a go-to for a mentor, an educator, a friend, and a support. And she's really helped me view myself as more of a leader, and that's allowed me to take on more responsibility and leadership roles in various aspects of my own life, and stepping out of my comfort zone to discover who I can be as an educator and a person. And Shelly's really the kind of person you want to look up to as the kind of educators that we want in our society today.